Okay, we are live. Good to see everybody once again. Andrew back again with another live stream here. It's Tuesday, March 28th, 2023, 6:02 p.m. Pacific time here in Las Vegas. So it's good to see everybody. Wanted to give you a little bit of a channel update. Nothing major, so don't get all excited. Basically, it's code for not much is going on, so we just need to fill the time. No, I'm just kidding. We have a lot of stuff upcoming on the channel, a lot of exciting stuff actually, and wanted to give you a little update. I haven't really live streamed in a while, so I wanted to catch up a little bit with you, and hopefully we can have a really nice live stream today. So hopefully you are doing okay out there in wherever you are. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. So good to see you. And we have our first super chat here, and it is from our member and good friend, Duck Vision, who is here once again with a $10.69 super chat. So really good for Duck Vision to be here. I'm glad you're here. And I basically got to try to figure this out. What does this 1069 stand for? So it must have a meaning, because you keep doing that. And I appreciate the support, of course. Good to see Rafael Perez here. Once again, another moderator and good friend to the channel, as is William Cohen. And again, check out William's comment here, because it might have some bearing to you as far as why you may be getting slow SSD reads and write speed. So just check that out as far as the March Microsoft update. So thank you once again, William, for that. Always appreciated. All right, so a couple of things have happened since I did my last live stream, which was earlier in the month. I did a couple of videos from HP, which were the HP Dragonfly Pro and the Dragonfly Pro Chromebook. So didn't get a big reception on that, especially on the Chromebook, which is not a surprise, although that is the somewhat more premium device out of the two. So I did that. I also did a micro PC from Dell, which I'm absolutely loving, by the way. The Optiplex 7000 micro PC, which is pretty interesting. And let me know if you want to see more of those type of devices on the channel. I still have a backlog of stuff I'm getting to. Now, what do I have here? So don't get too excited, but I do have, this is the Dell XPS 15 9520 from last year. It's not the new one, but I do have on order one coming with the 9530, the Core i9 with the 4070 GPU. Now, that would be my personal unit. If you remember, 2 years ago, I bought one, the white one, which I have here out of the frame, of course. That one is getting a little bit long in the tooth. That's running the 11th gen processor. This will have the 13th gen. I should have that in a couple of weeks. But I brought out this because we're going to do a comparison, obviously, when I do get it. So I was updating this and so forth. In the background, I don't know if you can see it, behind this, I have the X1 Extreme Gen 5. I'm expecting to get the updated version very soon. So a lot of stuff happening on the channel. I do expect, hopefully, to get review units on the X1 Carbon Gen 11 and the, what else do we have? The X1 Gen 11, the Gen 8 of the X1 Yoga I have on the way. So I don't have exact dates just yet, but I think we're on the cusp of that. We also got an announcement today from Lenovo, and we can actually talk about it a little bit, and then we can take your comments and questions. But one thing we want to get straightened out before we do that, make sure you put a Q before your question so I can actually see it a little bit easier in the chat. And also, if you want to do a super chat like Doc Vision did, that will certainly get you priority. Not necessary, of course. And of course, if you want to become a member, that's always an option. But the best way to engage is, of course, hitting that thumbs up. Let's get this spread out over YouTube. I'm not expecting too much tonight, but the other thing I wanted to talk about before I forget is that we're about to hit 140,000 subscribers on the channel, of course, and that is great, thanks to your support, of course. And we keep continuing to grow. Yes, it is a little bit slow this time of year traditionally, so I'm not really too concerned about that when we have new devices on the way. So really, really good to see everybody. Now, Lenovo did definitely announced today, took off the wraps and the embargo lifted this morning on some new stuff. And if you want to see what I'm talking about, you can see here, and if we go here, I can show you that we have some new announcements. And this is the Lenovo Slim 9, well, sorry, the Lenovo Slim Pro 9i, and this, of course, is a 16-inch laptop. There's also a 14-inch, but there's a new color called teal. I think it's called teal. Let me just make sure. Let me go here, and you can put myself down there. So I did download some of the front face. Yeah, so this is the front facing, and here you can see this is the teal or whatever they're calling it, and it's a very beautiful color. I hope to get a review unit into the studio. Notice the numpad there. Now, I did not get a review unit yet. I do anticipate getting one. I know that there were some sponsored videos I noticed today that you might be able to get some more information, like Matthew Moniz, I think I saw he had it. But looks pretty interesting as far as the color. You could also get it in the gray, the storm gray. But pretty interesting device. I'm a big fan of it. Now, outside the United States, it is called the Yoga Pro. So it would be in the United States, Lenovo Slim Pro 9i. Outside the United States, the Yoga Pro 9i. And you can get it also in a 14-inch. We can take a look at that. So if I go to, and this is the Storm Gray before we get to that. This is the Storm Gray. And we've seen this one before. We've seen these before. And that is a nice color as well. So if you don't want to go with the teal, you can go with that. So that's pretty interesting. And they're calling it Tidal Teal for those interested. This is called Tidal Teal. Very nice color. We'll get the specs and all that when I do get a review unit into the studio. They did announce also some other things. We have the Slim 7i, the Slim 7 Pro. The Slim 7i comes in Misty Gray. You can see that here. So Misty Gray, which is always great. And I like the Slim line. I'm a big fan of it. Again, outside the United States, it's the Yoga line, but here in the United States, it's called the Slim line. And I really like this. It's pretty good as far as the colors are concerned. And we'll get to some specs. I have a sheet here that I can tell you a little bit about it. In fact, while we're looking at this one, so this is the Slim 7i. And this, of course, is going to come in a 13th gen Intel processor. It comes in the P it's a P series, 28 watt, or a U series, which is a 15 watt. So according to my spec sheet here. So pretty nice. I can't wait to get one into the studio. There's also some other colors, and we'll get to your comments and questions in a moment. There's also another color here called, obviously, Storm Gray. We've seen that one a million times. So you can see here. Very, very nice. So to me, the big announcement to me so far was that 9i Pro. So that to me is one that I'm really looking forward to getting into the studio, or the Slim Pro 9i, I should say. Now there's also the 7i. We've seen the 16-inch. This one comes in Arctic Gray or the Storm Gray. And of course, this is a 16-inch as well. This will be a little less expensive than the 9i. So for those that want the 7i, this, of course, will hopefully get in as well. So this is also a convertible, as you can see here. So if we go back to the 16-inch, just so you know, you can go here, Slim Pro 9i 16-inch, and we'll do the title teal. This is not a convertible. So the 9i is a 16-inch clamshell. So a little confusing when you start bringing in the Yoga moniker, the Yoga name, because some people tend to get confused about that, but that is what we have announced. And again, I'll have more to say on this very soon. All right, let's, good to see Tech Realm here. Nice to see you. Congrats to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, Ali A is asking, which is better, Apple MacBook M1 Pro 14 base, which is what I use myself. I do have that, or the MacBook M2 Pro 14 base. So I think Josh did a really good comparison of these. If you go over to his channel, I think he had that really great buying guide when it comes to the Macs, because he did a really in-depth comparison, and I think you want to check that out. I would stick with the M1 Pro for now. I think it's done really well. I bought it on sale, I think $400 off. I think I paid $1,700 or $1,699. I think it was originally $2,100 or whatever it was. Whatever. I got it on sale, and I've been using it, especially if I'm using Final Cut Pro. It's more than exceeded my needs. I only have 16 gigabytes of RAM on that base model, and I only have 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. Not a big deal for me, because I use external SSDs, and of course it's worked like a pro, especially when you're doing optimized video and stuff like that, or things that are optimized for video with the MacBook drivers and so forth, especially with Final Cut Pro. What's up, Andrew? According to Mukhtar, would you recommend the Book 3 Pro 360 or the Yoga 9i Gen 8 for a student? That's a good question. So I have my full review, by the way. I'm working on a sponsor for that video, so that's the delay right now. So I have the video shot and everything. I just need to get that finalized for that small portion of a video, because we have to pay the bills here. I'm not being sponsored, by the way, by Samsung, of course. But having said that, I really like that Yoga 9i Gen 8 for obvious reasons. I think the sound alone out of that sound bar and those speakers with the Dolby Atmos and all that worked really well. Now, having said that, the Galaxy Book 3 Pro 360 also did very well. So I liked it a lot. So it's just a matter of personal preference. I prefer the display on the Yoga 9i, and for obvious reasons. One being just a little less glossy than that Galaxy Book 3 Pro 360, which was really, really glossy. So there you go. Now, hopefully that helps. The Slim Shadyist is saying, I use an M2 MacBook Air with 24 gigabytes of RAM, but looking at the Asus ZenBook 14 Flip OLED, if they ever release that thing. So I don't know what I can say so far. I am getting a bunch of ZenBooks in, the new ones here for 2023, next month, or in the next couple of weeks, actually, as we head into April. So I will have some more to say on that. That's all I can say right now, but I am getting it. I spoke with Asus, so I will have hopefully that one as well. So I'll get my take on it. And of course, last year, the ZenBook did really well on the channel. I think it's close to 80 or 90,000, even close to 100,000 by now. So it did really well when I did the ZenBook Pro, the ZenBook 14, I believe I did on that one. Really nice OLED displays. And again, if you caught my coverage of CES 2023, you know that they went all OLED in their ZenBook line this year. So looking good at that. Thanks, according to Mukhtar. Thanks to your videos, by the way, very helpful. Okay, you like my videos. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to hear that. Brent C., good to see you, my friend. I agree on the OLED on the Yoga 9i. Now, don't get me wrong, that AMOLED, the dynamic AMOLED 2X display on the Galaxy Book 3 Pro 360, or even the non-360 version, is very good. But I did have some issues, and I keep in mind, I do have a lot of studio lights, but having said that, it is a very glossy display. And again, I see multitudes of displays on the channel. So I think you will be better off with the Yoga 9i Gen 8 because I think it's a little less glossy. It's a beautiful display. It really is. And it's also AMOLED. And it has also a higher refresh rate of 90 hertz, although it's not the dynamic up to 120 that you get on the Samsung. Again, I just wish it was a little less glossy. Now, they did correct a lot of the shortcomings from last year in the Book 2 line, that being that it was too dim last year, of course, and it was not bright enough. That was for certain. And it didn't go beyond full HD, and it retained a 16:9. So they corrected all that. The one thing they didn't correct was how glossy it is. Tech Sheep, how are you doing, my friend? Lenovo Yoga Book 9i with the 2 screens, waiting patiently. Yes, as I am as well. So I did get a chance to play with it and go hands-on with it back at CES 2023 here in Las Vegas. And it was a very interesting device. Now, keep in mind, that was a prototype. It wasn't a final shipping device, so there was some software issues that I noticed, although, of course, it's very early stages when I got my hands on with it. So I'm sure they've made improvements, and I look forward to that. In fact, if you remember, the Surface Neo was something that I was really looking forward to until Microsoft killed it. So hopefully this will be even better as far as that form factor. But again, I want to know what you think about it. Let me know. Brent C has a question. Any news from Lenovo on the Slim Pro X refresh for 2023? Would like to see the next AMD CPU. So let me see here. I don't think any announcement on that as far as the X line. Now, that was one of my favorites from last year, and I did, of course, my videos on that. I haven't heard anything, but I would imagine we will be hearing something soon, especially with AMD involved with that. So we will also get not only information, hopefully, on that, but we will see review units into the studio with regards to the Z line, or the Z series, I should say, out of the ThinkPad line. So the Z13 Gen 2, the Z16 Gen 2, two of my favorites from last year. And look who we have here. Robert with a super chat once again. Wow. And $100.69. So what it must have some significance. $10.69 from maybe I'm missing it from Duck Vision, but then of course Robert really, once again, one of the great supporters of the channel. And yes, I agree. You really like the ZenBooks. Me too. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you caught it in the early part of the stream, I mentioned a few minutes ago, I will be getting review units in. I did speak with Asus. So stay tuned. That is coming. Again, Robert, once again, thank you so much. All right. So we have 41 of you watching. And good to see Alfredo Arahu. Good to see you. Hope I didn't butcher your name. Alfredo Arajo. Okay, there you go. Is there a matte screen protector or something of that sort that can be applied to the 9i and the Galaxy Books to tone down the gloss? Yes, I think there are. I don't have any specific, but I think if you do a search, there are matte screen protectors. The only issue I have with that is that it does take away a little bit out of the sensitivity of the display. And not only that, it takes away some of the brilliance of the display. So one of the reasons they go with the glossy display is it's going to be a little bit more sharper in certain lighting and situations. But of course, the problem with that is it's a balance, right? So if they went overboard with the glossiness, it was like a mirror on that 360, on that Galaxy Book 3 Pro 360. So really, really interesting as far as how they approach that. And I think Lenovo it's glossy, but it wasn't quite as bad. Yes, you can get screen protectors, matte screen protectors, but it does take away from one of the reasons you want to buy it, of course, is for the brilliance of that display. Why haven't I done a review on the Xiaomi Mi Notebook Pro X15 laptop? Because I would love to, and I did early on. I don't know if maybe you caught it early on in my career here, but I haven't had anything come in from Xiaomi. I would go out and buy those. I actually imported those years ago, 3-4 years ago, whenever I did it. And the thing about those I love them. In fact, they were really ahead of their time in a lot of ways. Great price point as well. But Xiaomi has not sent me any. And it really is cost prohibitive for me to buy them and to bring them into the studio. So we got a super sticker from the Slim Shadiest. The Slim Shadiest. All right. Saying to keep it up. And I really do appreciate that. Okay. Now, as far as these Zen books, like I said, Alfredo, look forward to that because they are coming. I just don't have the exact dates just yet, but I did speak with Asus. I have a bunch of them coming, the different Zen books this year. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to checking them out. And if you caught it late, I'm also getting review units, on the Dell XPS 15 and the 17. Now, I did order for my own personal use the 15. This is my review unit from last year, and I asked to hold on to it to do a comparison when I do get the new version. This is the 12th Gen 8 series processor, but I do have the one I did buy a couple of years ago. And it's getting a little bit banged up a little bit from use. But this is the 11th gen, and this was the white version, and you can see it here. This was the white version, and it had that ceramic white interior, and you can see it here. It's a little blown out. Let me fix the camera so you can see it, because it is white. It's hard to show it with these lights. Hold on. So you might see this a little less, but this will be a little bit easier to see. So what I liked about it was really beautiful white, shows very little, if any, fingerprints. But the problem with this one is that this white keyboard and the backlight is hard to see the contrast between the two. So that was an issue for me. And I can zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. Now, as far as the thermals, I think it's a little bit better on the 12th gen over the 11th gen. I'm curious to see how that's all going to play out on the 13th gen, which we hopefully will get into the studio very, very soon. But these have been very, very good. Now, next question. Does the Yoga 9i Gen 8 get too hot, or does it thermal throttle badly? I covered that in my review, Muqtada. I don't remember it thermal throttling that bad. In fact, it did really well on the thermals. And the thing I'm seeing about the 13th gen with this P series, which you'll find on there, that one has a Core i7 1360p. I'm noticing a little bit more efficiency, a little bit better battery life than the 12th gen, and certainly the 11th gen. And I'm also seeing it's running a little bit cooler. Not much, but a little bit. And I didn't see too many hot spots. Again, I covered it all in the review video. So if you didn't check it out, I highly encourage you to do so. But very good. I thought, and my overall takeaway was that if you have the Gen 7 from last year, I didn't see enough of a reason with the Yoga 9i to upgrade this year. And that was because you didn't get any really graphics increase this year. The Iris Xe graphics are a little bit, like maybe a tad faster, but nothing measurable or substantially measurable. Hardly any upgrade in terms of the graphics. And so that to me was a little letdown. And I think that's not just Lenovo, that's all the OEMs, because that's Intel, right, with the Iris Xe graphics. So I was not crazy about that as far as the graphics. Now, having said that, the multi-core, the single-core performance was really good on that. So no complaints on that front. That's for certain. They did a really good job. So Stefan says, I have the 3 Pro, the non-360. I reviewed that one. And the display is great. Definitely not too glossy. Not sure why the 360 is more glossy. I did notice that, and I mentioned that in my review of that 14-inch that I did. And I think the reason is there's no touch layer, first and foremost. They don't have to have pen support. There's no touch on it. That might have something to do with it. And I noticed it right away when I saw that. So the 360 and the Ultra, both really glossy, I noticed. But that 360 14-inch, I'm sorry, that 14 non-Pro, I should say. I know it gets confusing. The 14 non-Pro, less glossy. I did mention that. Yeah, you watched the review, but it's very forgettable. I'm very forgettable, right? So I guess I am. But nonetheless, it's on my channel for those that want to check out all those videos. And again, I'm waiting on a sponsor, finalizing some things for the full review of the Samsung Galaxy Book 3 Pro 360. Now, Brent is saying that's why he's so interested in the AMD processors for 2023. They should have phenomenal boost in GPU performance. Case in point, if you checked out my review of the HP Dragonfly Pro running the AMD Ryzen 7 7736, which is, I think, Zen 3 Plus architecture, not Zen 4. Anyway, regardless, the integrated Radeon graphics, the 680M on that really kicked the ass of the integrated Iris Xe graphics. So that, to me, was an indicator of what we have coming up as far as AMD. Now, having said that, regarding that AMD HP collaboration on that Dragonfly Pro, I'm not sure why people are not more excited about it. I know there were a few choices that they made as far as design language, no headphone jack, soldered RAM, soldered SSD, of course, is going to be negatives. And I certainly pointed that out. But where I thought it did really well, the build quality was excellent. The display was really good, although the Chromebook version had the more superior, brighter display, although the one they put in, the Full HD Plus, did really well. But where the AMD really shines is efficiency. Battery life was phenomenal on that. I think I got about 14 hours on the Modern Office test on the PC Mark battery test. So that did really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing more AMD as they filter into the studio. 7000 series, I certainly want to see more coming in. Hopefully they won't have problems getting in terms of availability. We know the issues on that. But as far as the integrated Radeon graphics, all I can say is they're much better than the Iris Xe graphics, that's for sure. So we definitely see it. Now, where the Intel is going to do better is on the better multi-core and a little bit better single core, and we're seeing really good numbers, but not as efficient as the AMD counterparts, okay? Hopefully that helps. Question from TechSheep. Have you heard anything about the Lenovo Go Desk Station with webcam? When will it be released? They said in March, but nothing yet on Lenovo's website. Yes, I did get some briefing on that. I don't have any concrete information as an actual release date. So I'm in the dark as far as that concerned. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Alfredo is also excited about the AMD offerings. Yes, they do have better battery life this generation. They had better battery life last generation, as far as I'm concerned. Problem was getting devices with those were hard to find. Problems with supplies and so forth, supply issues. Hopefully we won't have that issue this year. But again, I can't wait to get more into the studio. And again, that integrated Radeon solution, the 680M on that Dragonfly Pro, is proof positive and very encouraging that we'll see very efficient chipset as well as great battery life. And it also runs pretty cool and pretty quiet as well. That was the other thing that I noticed about that. According to the Slim Shadiest, if the Dragonfly Pro had a stylus support, it wasn't so heavy, I would have considered it. That was the other thing that I noticed when I got my briefing. I did go to New York for that, for both of them. And one thing I did notice was the weight. And I mentioned it when I did the unboxings of them, and when I put them on my scale, it showed it was even a little bit heavier than what they're claiming it was. I don't know if my scale's fully calibrated to the extent that it should be, but nonetheless, there is some heft there, especially when you compare it to other 14-inch laptops out there, like even the MacBook Pro. is less as far as weight. This was a little bit hefty. Now, having said that, they did a good job on the thermals. There's no doubt about it. I think they worked really closely with AMD on this one, on the Windows version. And even when HP worked with Google, I thought they did a good job on the Chromebook version. That's also really, really good. And that display on that Chromebook is 1,200 nits, folks. The thing is I had to turn it down to about 30% just so I could show it to you in that video. Otherwise, it would be super blown out. So really good job on that. No stylus support on the 13 Plus. But you like the 9i. So according to him, the Dell XPS 13 Plus is tempting, but I think the 9i is a better overall stylus support. Again, it's a matter of personal preference. Those that want to do digital artwork, those that want to take notes, obviously there's an advantage there. But again, 13 Plus, clamshell, not conducive for note-taking. So I guess it's just a matter of what you need and the right tool for the job, right? So that's the way I would approach that. So let's see how it all plays out. Let's see how it all plays out. Now, so I've got a bunch of stuff coming in. I've got a few things backlogged that I will be, over the next few days, I will be releasing over the next few days, I should say. And that is also pretty good. I have some pretty good stuff. I also want to take a look back at some of the stuff from last year as we get ready for some of the new ones. Now, the other thing that I'm hoping to get soon, and you can see it back here, this is and we could put this to the side over here. Let me unplug this one. This one is the Extreme Gen 5. Now, I did review this over on the channel, of course, and this has a beautiful 4K plus IPS display. I don't believe this is OLED. And really, what I saw on this was very good performance, and you can see here a little bit dark because I did. Let me put this out of the way here. Hold on. Let me give you a little bit better look at this. Hold on. Now, this is permanently stained. I don't know whoever had it before me as far as a review device. This was really good. And one of the things I love about the X1 Extreme, this is the Gen 5, is the keyboard. It's a spill-proof keyboard. It's got good tactility, good key travel. I'm a big fan of it. It's pretty good. Now, the touchpad is not haptic or anything like that, so I would love to see a haptic touchpad on this, but we don't have that. What I love about this is the port selection. It's got a really good port selection. You got 2 USB-A ports. You get a full-size SD card reader. And then on this side, you have, and I can unplug it. This side, you have your power port. You get your power port, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. You get an HDMI, you get a headphone jack. So one thing you don't have to worry about with this is port selection. And it's pretty portable for a 16-inch laptop, and the screen goes back 180 degrees. So I actually really like it. It's been pretty good, although I don't know what the deal is on this. But if you get a retail unit, you won't have any issues. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Now, as far as will I be looking at the Zephyrus series this year, I do plan on it. I did look at it last year. And by the way, I think you can get the Zephyrus G14 at Best Buy for $10.99 on sale right now. And that is a steal. I did a couple of videos on that early last year, and that was really good. I love the thumbnails. You like my thumbnails? All right. Yeah, I'm going to try to work on my thumbnail game a little bit. I'm not the best at it. I do admit that, but I try something a little bit different every so often. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Does anybody in the chat know if the 9i Gen 8's webcam does tracking where the camera can follow you, move from side to side? I don't, did I show that in the video? I don't remember if it has it. Let me see if I have it here. Give me a second. So I think, let me see here. Let's put this one to the side. So I don't know if it has tracking, but let me plug it in. I think this is this year's. Yeah, this is Gen 8. So this is it. You know, I get so many laptops. I don't know what's what. Let me fix the camera again. Because what happens is it gets blown out. Yeah, because it's a lighter color, so I have to adjust the camera. Anyway, so let me turn this on. Let me see if the camera can track you. I don't remember if it has tracking. We'll find out in a moment. I didn't show it, maybe because it doesn't have it, or maybe I forgot to. All right. So let's see. Let's get this all set up here. So one of the things I love about this is this great wallpaper. And again, you can see how glossy. Keep in mind, I do have a lot of lights here, so do keep that in mind. All right, so let me turn on the camera. Let me go, actually, you know what? Let's go to the Lenovo Vantage, and you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. All right, so let's go to the device, and let's go to the camera. And so here we have brightness and auto. I don't know if we have all those extra studio features like the tracking and stuff. I see the auto exposure. I see the brightness. So let's close this and let me go to the camera. It's a 1080p camera. We know that. Okay. And I don't see an option for that. I don't think it has that. But somebody correct me if you know something that I don't. But I don't see it. I didn't see an option there. It's 1080p. So I didn't see an option. So I don't know how important that is to you with the eye tracking and the it makes it look like you're always looking at the camera. I never cared for that. But pretty decent camera. I would say it's a pretty decent camera. Watching you show all these different laptops, after a while, they all look alike. Oh, man. William, you're not kidding. They really do. You can hear the fan going on. So I don't know. I don't think it has tracking. So that answers that. Your laptop closet probably costs like $50,000. I think that's on the very low side. So again, 90% I don't buy, right? So I get review units. So I usually send them back. Sometimes I keep them year to year just so I can do gen to gen comparisons, which comes in, I think, pretty handy. And they like when I do that. So, all right. So what do we have? 46 people watching and we only have 34 likes. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Come on. Don't embarrass me. Come on. Do me a favor. I'm doing a good enough job embarrassing myself, but why not hit the like button? Oops, there's the wrong button there. Okay, too many buttons here. What I really like is this keyboard, smile-shaped keys. I like this better than the Samsung keyboard. So that's for sure. If you're debating, I think this is the better keyboard. That's in my opinion. Now, some people don't like this row here, having a dedicated row. So, okay, so this, if you remember, this will change the thermal profile. If you press that, and there it is in the, that's the optimized mode, I think, and this is the battery saving mode. And then you can see what I'm doing here. And then this would be this is the performance mode right here. So this would be the optimized or whatever, the one that I think most people will be okay with as far as a good between fan noise and thermals and so forth. That's awesome that they let you keep them that long. So not everybody, let me be clear, not all the brands let you do that. Some do, some do. So like for instance, Dell, they asked me, what do I want to do? Do I want to keep it so I can do a head-to-head and the other thing I did with them also is I did my long-term review. I did of the XPS 13 Plus. So that got 40,000 views, by the way, out of nowhere. I mean, that just really was my 6-month follow-up. And I'm doing the same thing with the XPS 15 and 17. I'll be doing that very soon, so stay tuned. So I'm not eager to send it back right away unless they really need it, because I like to do comparison year over year. I also like to do long-term reviews. Not everybody is, they're not going to let you do that. Yes, this is, Brian, this is the 9i right here. You can see it right here. And you can get another look over here. So this is the 9i. Gorgeous AMOLED display. It's a 14-inch, of course, 2.8K, 2880 by 1800. And I think, to me, it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, it does have a little lip up here. That's to house the webcam, of course. And then have the sound bar right there. Sound is really, really good. Probably the best on a Windows laptop so far this year. That's for certain. At some point, Duck Vision, I do send them back. So just so you know. It just depends on the brand. It just depends on the brand and my relationship with them. So... with the Asus ZenBooks, I don't think I'm going to have them for more than maybe 30 days, and then I got to give them back. Which of the vendors is the easiest to work with? I assume not Microsoft. You assume very right. They're great. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but a lot of the brands are great to work with, based on my experience. Like Dell is really great, HP, Lenovo. And by the way, I'm supposedly getting the Framework laptop with the AMD processor. So I'm trying to establish a relationship with Framework. So hopefully I'll get something in soon. I'll keep you updated. That is a modular laptop, and I had a good conversation with them. So they want to send me something. So we'll see. We'll see. Some brands don't. They're interesting, to say the least. I like Samsung. They invited me to their Unpacked events, but they won't send me review units for whatever reason, even though I did pretty good, right? Look at the numbers. I did pretty good on the Ultra, the Samsung Galaxy Book 3 Ultra, the Pro 360 on my unboxing first look review, on the Book 3 Pro. That did well. I mean, 20,000 is nothing to sneeze at, but they just don't seem to want to work with me in that way. They like getting the publicity that I give them when I do my hands-on at the events, but they don't care. No Apple. Apple, we're not even, nothing to discuss there. Not because I don't want to, it's because they don't care. Framework, yes, Duck Vision. So again, till I have it, I don't have anything yet, but I did have a good conversation with them. Samsung is another company that doesn't work with Android. So Samsung and Microsoft. So Microsoft, pretty easy, and I've been upfront about my feelings about it. The truth is, it's probably better that I buy these units that I do. Surface Pro 9, Surface Laptop 5. What else did I review? The Surface Laptop Studio, the Surface Laptop Go 2. These were all last year, by the way. And they all did very, very well. I'm one of the top creators. When you do a search on YouTube or even Google, I come up. So if you probably would find me there. I'm on the top 5 or whatever it is. For whatever reason, they don't work with me. I guess, I don't know if I'm not the demographics that they're looking for. The type of reviews that I do, I just don't know. They know who I am. I've contacted them. They've even said they're going to send me review units in the past, but nothing ever comes of it. Every time we get in contact with one another, and then I say, yeah, I'm ready, willing, and able, nothing ever comes of it. So I don't put too much stock in it anymore. I used to get not upset, but I just didn't see the business sense why they were not sending it to me. I was getting really good views. I think I've had millions of views on their products over the last 5 years, but nothing to show for it by way of a review unit, which is fine. I go out and I buy the products and I review them. And then that's it. There's nothing more to say. Same thing with Samsung. But working with great brands such as Dell, HP, Lenovo, Asus, Acer, other brands, they definitely are a pleasure to work with. I'm very happy with my established relationships with them. And then I sometimes I have brands where, like with Razer, I used to be on and off with them. Now it seems like it's off. But they never did really well on my channel for whatever reason. Every time I did a Razer laptop, it never got quite the amount of views I was hoping it would get. And I put a lot of work into those videos. So I don't know. I mean, and now they don't even return my email. So that tells you everything you need to know. So you like my reviews, and I appreciate that, Muqtadir. It does take a lot of work. I have somebody, and I hired a couple of people part-time, freelancers type thing, to help me do video editing and stuff like that. So I should be getting more of that out in a more consistent and rapid pace. Love the content. Keep it up. Still using my Lenovo i9. All right. So there you go, man. Nice. I appreciate it. Thank you, John. Yeah, I appreciate it. Raphael, I appreciate your support as well, of course, helping out, moderating, and so forth. As we have 53 of you on it. Really, I just wanted to say hello. I haven't seen you in a while. I know you're probably wondering, or maybe not, what happened to me. Doing the videos, obviously releasing videos. The channel's growing. We're going to hit 34 million views probably next week or so. So we're very, very close. And look who we have here. It is Mallory. Long time no see. All right. Good to see you. I mean, we follow each other on the social media and we keep up that way. But I'm glad you're here, Mallory. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. I wish Windows laptops had max battery life. Yeah, the Macs, I have my M1 MacBook Pro. So it's the MacBook Pro 14 M1 Pro. And the sound on it, by the way, the speakers are phenomenal. The battery life is great. Yeah, they definitely have the efficiency thing down. They definitely have the battery life down. That's for sure. So really good battery life on the HP Dragonfly Pro. Again, really good numbers. What AMD did on that as far as optimizing it, working closely with engineers at HP and vice versa, I think they produced something good. I'd like to see more out of that relationship, that they did a really good job. Thought HP and AMD worked well together. We have a $20 super sticker, all right, from Doc Vision, saying number one. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mallory. Okay. Thank you, Duck Vision, of course, for that super sticker. I was wondering myself what happened to you, but figured you've been very busy. Yeah, life gets in the way, folks. So, and then plus, I'm in the process of doing a few upgrades here. I have a couple of people, like I said, I'm bringing on. I'm getting them acclimated to the video editing process, my style of video. So there you go. Okay. I see on best. What do you mean? Maybe you meant to say something more after that. I don't know. I am the best. That's of course true. Kidding. So yeah. So I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I have a lot of stuff planned. I have a lot of videos on the way. I just wanted to say hello. How long have we been? We've already done this. What? 47 minutes? Can't be. It just goes by so fast. You never get used to that. All right. Any other questions or anything? Just ask me. I mean, and again, working with and I like talking about it a little bit, and I don't want to get too much into the weeds of this, but when I do a video and I have a review process, again, I'm not being paid by these brands. I'm not being sponsored by them. If it is a sponsorship, I'm going to tell you. And if it is paid, I will not call it a review. That's for sure. Road to 1 million subs. Okay. I like that. Well, we have a ways to go. I'd like to get to 150. Right now, we're about to hit 140,000. I'd like to get to 150, and then we'll work on getting to 200. I appreciate that, Raphael. Okay, this is what I know you meant to say. I see on Best Buy's website that they are showing the new Spectre lines, but not yet selling them. They appear to be just using the 13th gen processors. They are still using ARC graphics. Now, I don't have any information from HP. I don't expect, and I think this is a theme we're seeing so far here in 2023. We're seeing pretty much internal upgrades. I don't think we've seen any radical redesign of any laptop design so far. The Yoga 9i that you see here, this is just a bump up internally, right? And the spec bump in terms of the CPU. And that's why I said, you don't expect to see a revolutionary update. It's more incremental. All right. Question from Ali A. Why do Windows laptops have worse battery life than Macs? Only the Surface Pro 9 comes close in battery life. Also, Windows 11 performance drops 40% without the charger, while MacBooks maintain 100%. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, I don't know about the Surface Pro 9 battery life that you're getting there. That sounds really good, actually. But decent battery life. I didn't see great battery life on the Surface Pro 9. Having said that, Macs certainly do better. And I don't see any difference when it's plugged in or when it's on battery as far as the performance drop-off. There is none. I don't see it. Whereas Windows, you do see you do see at least a 25% drop off in performance, maybe even more. Just depends on the laptop. All right. Yeah, so I would like to see an improvement in that area. I thought we started to see it. Now, AMD, I did notice on the HP Dragonfly Pro with that AMD Ryzen 7 7736 that I reviewed, that one had pretty similar performance, whether it's plugged in and when it was unplugged, although it wasn't, one-to-one. I think it was a little less, but it wasn't as bad as years past. And I noticed that it was a little bit better when it was on battery as well. Nothing new from Snapdragon. So I haven't seen anything yet from Snapdragon. I did, by the way, when I went to meet with, when I went to the Samsung Unpacked event, I met with some reps from Qualcomm Snapdragon, and I'm trying to work with them as well because they get to go to Hawaii every year, the Snapdragon Insider program. Anyway, I'm not counting on it, but I have looked at, and I still use, by the way, the ThinkPad X13 X13S Gen 1. That has the Snapdragon 8CX Gen 3. I also have, that I bought, as you know, the Surface Pro 9 5G with the SQ3. That's basically a rebranded, slightly faster 8CX Gen 3, right, from Qualcomm. So they work with Microsoft. Microsoft rebrands it. It's basically an 8CX Gen 3, the SQ3. So those have been working out pretty well. And in fact, I do have a video that I'm almost done with on that, comparing the performance of the Snapdragon processors. How have they held up in real world usage? How is the 5G? How is it as a travel device? Because that X13 S Gen 1 from ThinkPad from Lenovo worked out really good. I really love it, actually. Andrew, yes, I do have a mobile channel, and I should put the link in. I have about, I think now we're up to 360 subscribers. Not much, but we're building it. I'd like to get to 1,000 and 4,000 hours of watch time so we can get monetized on that. But regardless, I do have a mobile channel. Check it out. It's Mobile with Andrew Marc David, right? It's not as big, of course, as this channel, but no, I do have a channel, and I do have a video coming out on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. I did my review on that. We'll have that very soon. Thank you, Raphael, for putting that in the chat, the link to it. Thank you very much. I don't post on there quite as much as I'd like to, but now that I'm getting some help, I will be able to do more of that. So stay tuned. There will be more coming on that. I'm glad you did. All right. So we have another subscriber. And again, if you're not subbed to that, I will have more stuff coming to that. So you might want to check it out. And if you like my style of reviews, then maybe it might be worth checking out. All right. So probably going to keep it to an hour today. We're at 52 minutes, a little bit longer. We'll keep going. Maybe by 2030, Windows won't drop performance plugged in to unplugged. And it's a comment and a question that I keep getting from that, right? The efficiency. Why is it not the same performance plugged in as it is? It's the architecture. It has to do with the chipset, the cooling solution employed, the battery. It's just all things that all these factors come into play with that. No problem. In my opinion, what Windows laptop is the equivalent of the MacBook Pro M114 in terms of features and specifications? So I would look at, so are you looking at the 14-inch? Okay. So the HP Dragonfly Pro would be up there. That'd be one of them to look at. I would look at the XPS 13. I know it's not a 14. I would look at that one as far as design and aesthetics, as well as, of course, really good performance, multi-core especially. I would look at the Yoga 9i, which is what we have here. I would look at the Slim 9i 14 that they just announced, the Pro version. That would be one you want to take a look at, announced today. Good to see David Allen here. It's no longer unplugged, and you get what you get, folks. Right. It's true. And Macs, and that's been the advantage of the Mac, is that they had really good performance, whether you're plugged in or you're not. You're on battery. I like your new thumbnail. It's quite different and it works well. Which one? Me with the cigar? I just was I just didn't know what to put in today because I didn't really have a theme, right? I didn't know what to do. Usually I have a theme, right? Centered around the live stream, a live unboxing of a particular product, follow-up review type thing. So this one I just said, I look like a mafia boss. So I said, all right, why not? So look at the thumbnail. Tell me if you like it. If you don't like it, it's fine too. It doesn't bother me, but whatever. The thumbnails are really hard, folks. I don't know if you know, making these videos are hard. Doing this live stream is not easy, getting it ready. So there you go. Half stream, good to see you. So the title, is everything okay? Can anyone give a brief overview? Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine, half stream. No worries. Everything is good. I just wanted to touch base. I haven't done a live stream, so I wanted to update where we are. We're at almost 140,000 subscribers, almost 34 million views in total. So we're growing at a nice pace. Everything is good. I appreciate, though, you're asking. So I'm glad you are here. So good to see you, half stream. All right. Andrew in Vegas. Yes, I am in Vegas. Who is asking? I am in Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, I think, David, I'm still learning after all these years. I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, I thought about maybe outsourcing it. I don't know. I'll see, you know, we'll see. Some people might think you are viewing cigars. I just liked the picture. I was smoking a cigar and I said, all right, what the hell? Worst case scenario, I think I'm a mafia boss. Okay, that's it. Forget about it. You like that? That's usually I'm quitting YouTube. No, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. There's no quit in me, my folks. They're gonna have to drag me out of this studio, right? No. Having too much fun, right? We're having too much fun. Why would I do that? All right. Now, you never know what life throws you, and I'm no spring chicken, that's for sure. So we'll see. We'll see. Is the 9i able to download the Lenovo software appearance? I don't know, Slim Shadiest. I don't. It does. I think it does. It have. I don't know. The picture is nice. Oh, I appreciate it. I don't know. Again, we can take a look. When we go into, I don't think it has that. I don't think they baked into this one. Surprisingly, maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Let's go to the display. So this is the camera, right? So you have brightness, contrast, auto exposure. I don't see a beauty mode or anything like that. Like you get HP, I know has been doing a lot of that in their presence detection cameras and so forth. I don't know. Don't see it. Okay. It's fun. It's fun to cover the industry. We're old men. Yes, David knows. You know, it really. It's funny because I go up against people half my age, right? So I'm always surprised. Not surprised. It always blows my mind that we've built a channel, almost 140,000 of you. And that's pretty mind blowing when I think about it. Something that I enjoy doing, and I'm glad people find it resonates with people. They find value in it, and as long as that's the case, I'll keep doing it. When I'm no longer providing value, and then people are no longer enjoying it, that's when I know it's time to hang it up. The detective cigar look looks like a review unit. So, which this one? Yeah. Are you talking about this, David? Yeah, this is the Yoga 9i. Are you reviewing this? The thumbnails that are most clean, in my opinion, are the ones like a bird's eye or front view of the laptop with the laptop's name written in white, like you did for the Dragonfly Chromebook. Okay. All right. I love that feedback. I love it because, I'm here. I don't really get a chance to get too much feedback. And that's, by the way, the first thing you look at when you see a video. That's the first thing you look at when you are presented to whether or not to click or not. So I only have like a split second to grab your attention to make that click. Otherwise, you're on to the next thing. There's just so much out there that I have to stand out, right? So the thumbnail is very important, but you don't want to deceive your audience. You want to be able to come through and you be able to provide the value that you're claiming you're going to provide them. You don't want to do bait and switch. Say one thing and give them something else. You don't want to do that. Yes, reviewing it had for about 2 weeks. Yeah, I liked it. I did my review already of it, David, and I like it. Not perfect, as I mentioned in the review, but there's a lot to like here. But my takeaway was, and I don't want to spoil anybody's day for David's review. My takeaway, my personal, is if you have the Gen 7, I don't see enough here to warrant going to Gen 8. I think if you have something from before that, yeah, I think it's definitely a worthwhile investment. Andrew, you should review one of these. What should I review? Did I miss what it is? What should I review? Let me know. You remember the Gambinos? Yeah. No, it's the Colombos. No, I'm joking. I'm not just joking. People, I'm not a member of the organized crime. Okay. What should I review, Brent? Let me know. Any idea what the return policy is with the Lenovo Direct? I'm really liking the 9i. If it's comparable with the smart appearance, I will keep it. I don't know, 30 days, I guess. I don't know. This is a review unit. Somebody knows, if you could look it up, you can just do a search. What is Lenovo's, their return policy? I would only know the United States also. I don't really know what the international policy is. Look at the link. What link? Did you set? I might have missed it. Anyway, which laptop would you suggest for video editing and productivity with good battery life under 1,000 to 1,200? Under 1,000 to 1,200, if you can get, that's gonna be tough. What do we like? We like the Slim Pro X, I think. Yeah, daddy is, yeah, your daddy, yeah, yes. Your daddy is reviewing tech. Yes, I'm your daddy. Yes. Who's your daddy? You're in Nashville. Okay, nice. Nashville, Tennessee. I do. ENB90. I do have a bunch of ZenBooks coming in, actually, from Asus. So stay tuned. Been a lot of former mob members getting caught lately. Yeah, not me. Not me. So Asus Swift X. Okay. Yes, the Asus Swift X, I did the last 2 years. Hopefully I'll get one from Acer. I don't have one right now. $799. That's a good one, by the way. That is a very good. Thank you, David. That is a very good one with a 3050 RTX 3050 GPU. So I'll give you a little bit of horsepower, very slim form factor, very good. I forgot about that. Acer Swift X. So let's give it up for David Allen. Thank you. That's why he's a pro. Okay. All right. So what else? Let's see. All right. So I think we're about an hour. Yeah, we're a little bit over an hour. I don't know how much longer we're going to go. Any other questions? I'm waiting. Okay, so let's see. I'm waiting for the 14 Pro OLED or the 14X or even the 14 OLED. So I do have I know I have at least the 14 OLED. I may have a few others as well. That is coming. Stay tuned, ENB90. Alfredo says, I appreciate the diversity. If I'm interested in a laptop, you have a higher chance of having done a thorough review, unlike other content who may stay mainstream products. So one of I think the pros and one of the cons of me being diversified is I'm not niched down like some other reviewers. So they're going to look at Apple pretty much 90% of the time, for instance. There are channels dedicated to that, or there may be channels dedicated to other brands. I like to review a nice, healthy stable of different brands, so I don't have to be tied down to one. Plus, it gets pretty boring for me to review the same type of thing from the same brand over and over. I would go out of my mind. I need a little diversity. That makes my job a little bit easier. Any idea when the Zephyrus G14 and R16 are going to be reviewed? I have the ZenBooks coming first. I did also talk to them about the Zephyrus ROG line that they have. I don't have any time frame on that. So as soon as I do, I'll get it in. I did review last year the 14-inch. I really liked it. And by the way, I noticed it on sale at Best Buy for $1,099. Hopefully it's still there. I don't know. Maybe I could put in. Good to see Michael Pepper Tech. Hope you're doing well. I picked up the Asus Flip 15 2-in-1 with an i7 12700H, Arc Graphics 370M, 1 terabyte of storage, 2.8K. That sounds great. And all for $999. And there is not a lot of coverage, Michael. So maybe you should do a video. I don't know if you did a video on it. I'd love to see it. That would be great, right? But I do have a bunch of stuff coming from Asus. So you and I do real reviews beyond reading the PR sheets. Well, it's hard, right, to do a review. People don't realize what's involved, researching, putting it through real testing, right? I mean, it takes time, it takes effort, and plus, there has to be some formula to that. Just reading a spec sheet, you don't need me for that. We don't need you for that. Anybody can go online and read the spec sheet. I want to be more than that. And that's why I try to give a little bit extra. Although it's not perfect, I'm always trying to improve, and I'm sure you are as well. You're always trying to do a little bit better, trying to improve the craft, right? So not very easy, but trying our best, and that's all I can do right now. That's all we can ask for. So yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. All right, so let's probably start wrapping this up. So I want to thank everybody. I think you did a great job. The moderators did once again a great job here. I want to shout out to those that gave a super chat today. I appreciate it. Super sticker. All the members, of course, continuing on a monthly basis. I do appreciate that as well. Certainly helps out the channel. And I have a lot coming, so I want to start we'll have a lot more live streams coming up as well. So stay tuned, a lot more to come, folks. Again, we're sort of in between right now, but I have stuff that I'm still getting to, stuff coming in, so you don't have to worry. It's all coming very soon. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye.